Okay, so I am very thrilled and excited to introduce everybody to Rick and Malu, both their wonderful presence and personality, and of course their gorgeous jewelry. I look at a lot of jewelry in my life, and a lot of it is okay, but not that captivating. So when mutual friends told me about Rick and Malu and jewelry, I was like, yeah, okay, it's probably going to be okay. And I must say, I was really bowled over. I went on a studio visit to their studio upstate in Catskill, I think it is, but they can confirm. And in my mind, we're driving up there, and I think it was going to be like a dusty old Victorian house with cats and like, velvet sofas leaking stuffing and everything. It was the most exquisite, minimal atelier that I've ever seen. It was something out of a Nancy Meyers movie. So shows what I know. And then, of course, when I looked in the cases, I was completely won over by the beautiful vision that they have, which they will, of course, tell you more about. So are they here?
They're here, yes. I'm going to ask them to unmute and to join you.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi, we're all here.
Here we are.
Hi, it's a little nerve-wracking, but we're going to get through this. It's like school. We're going to do it.
I know.
We're going to get
to see you.
Oh,
Anyway, you heard my whole intro, or no? Could you hear it?
we could hear you, yeah.
That was
So
so
you know it's all
sweet.
true.
So
Thank
sweet.
you. I'm blushing.
So I sent you this list of questions, but of course I have some curveballs that aren't on the list because that's how we do it here.
All right.
But first, so I met you very recently. I met you like maybe 6 months ago, not even, but we have very, very close mutual friends.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
my best friends are your best friends. So that is like a real tie. But why don't you tell everybody how you two first met and how you got together?
We actually
Yeah.
met in a drawing class. And it was sort of, we'd been ping-ponging kind of between New York and LA.
Always
Individually.
at the same place at the same time, working in the same neighborhoods, and sort of had never met until this drawing class. But we thought that we knew each other. We both saw each other and was like, you look so familiar. How do I know you? So we went out to lunch together. And
it was a terrible meal, our only terrible meal. But yeah, we were fast friends, sort of like you and us. It was instant.
yeah.
And then when did you decide to work together?
It was pretty immediate. Well, we started sharing ideas and found that we had a very similar, sense of humor and, sort of helped sort of creative mind. And I had actually come out with a line of drinking glasses. They're right here.
Oh yeah,
Like have little nipples, little buds on them. And Rick helped me with the launch party for that.
Yeah.
So that was our first sort of official collaboration.
But I feel like you told me that you were not thrilled with school and thought you could just have more fun not in school.
Yeah, I mean,
Did I remember that right?
We were a little older, and I think, going to school is sort of like, half of it is like who you meet in school. And when we met each other, it was like an instant, like, oh my gosh, like, I want to work with you and, do everything together.
And we were both working for other jewelers at the time who we were finding incredible, inspiration from and had beautiful opportunities there. So it was,
Well, Sally gave me a big lecture at dinner 2 nights ago and said, you need to ask them about all the people they've worked with. Isn't that on your list of questions? I was like, no. Tell us about all the really well-known people that you worked with respectively and what you took away from them, what you learned from them.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. When I first met Rick, I think right before I was working for the artist Michelle Okadoner.
I know her.
Oh, yeah, love her. And her work is just so incredible, exquisite. And also the way that she embodies that her art, is infused throughout her entire life. It's she's created her own light switches. And so everywhere, every facet, and it was beautiful and so inspiring. So, you know, she still inspires me to this day. And then I went on to work with Gabriella Kish, the jeweler, who is phenomenal. Like, in my opinion, can't be topped. So that was a dream come true. She's the sweetest, most generous human. And her jewelry is exquisite, and the life that she leads just sort of in every capacity. So I had the incredible fortune, you know, to work with her, and I jumped at that chance, and that meant leaving school.
Yeah, I thought you told me about that part. And who did you work with?
Oh, well, I worked in Nolita for Me and Row for many, many, many years. And actually the first time I actually ever laid eyes on you.
Didn't I come in the store?
You were hustling somewhere, probably to visit a piece of antique jewelry down the block at Lavadorant. But,
Yeah, could be.
But yeah, I actually, so I worked at Me and Row, sort of front of house, you know, doing retail, and then moved to PR and helped in the production room. And Robin, who is just a dear friend of mine, was an incredible mentor until I left to go work for another downtown jeweler, Jill Plattner, who is an amazing sculptor and jeweler, and just like can make metal bend and move in ways that is phenomenal. And I literally learned so much between Robin and Jill that
Does Jill still have the place on Crosby Street?
Yeah, they actually moved further up the block to an old historic building. But yeah, she's still there.
Okay, so then you got together and you realized you had this sort of aesthetic meeting of the mind. And you know, it's always hard. Whenever I interview designers or artists, it's very hard for people to put into words what they do. It's a different language, but try to tell us in words. That's
All
it.
right.
Try to tell us.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of funny because we do have also very opposing aesthetics in our personal style. And, you know, Rick loves color and is so joyful, and tie-dye and, you know, all print and pattern, and I'm very minimal. But there's a certain language in the sculptures that we appreciate and the art we appreciate. And so all of that is something that has connected us and is universal between us, and it allows us more freedom and creativity to sort of draw each other out of our comfort zones.
Yeah, and the collaboration makes the pieces a little more sort of dynamic than they would be, I think, if we were creating on our own. I mean, yeah.
Talk me through a typical day. Do you work separately and then get together, or is one more interested in one aspect than the other? Collaborations are always so interesting and tricky. Tell me how it works.
Yeah, for us, I guess breaking down a typical day, every day is very different.
Yeah.
But typically Rick wakes up earlier in the morning. I have a toddler, so I also wake up early in the morning, but my time is occupied. And so I'm a night owl, so I do a lot of work after my kid has gone to bed, and then Rick wakes up and sort of responds to that, does more work, and then we reconvene at around 10.
Yeah, we meet up around 10, and I might take her little guy out and play with him for a bit so she can do some work. And then kind of right now, like touch wood, he does an epically long 4-hour nap in the afternoon. So that's when we like really get to business, you know, have all our calls, you know, emails, anything we have to do together. And then otherwise
And it's nice because it allows us a little room. We'll ping pong ideas off of each other, and then there's a little bit of space for each of us to think about it and come back with, you know, a more full idea of what that could be or potential. A lot of the time though, we just sort of immediately fire off ideas and build off of. We share a brain a little bit.
Is one of you more interested in, say, the metal, and another one more interested in the stones and the color, or not really like that?
In that respect, it's equal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very equal. We have different skill sets in terms of how the business, you know, like I create most of the jewelry by hand, and Rick is really incredible at sort of creative production and, you know, front facing. I'm really shy. So Rick handles the atelier, you know, studio visits.
Where is everything made? I know you can't make, the two of you can't make everything. So
We have a stone setter, an incredible stone setter.
Who's a dear friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he does all the set diamonds, and we work with a lapidary who carves our stone shapes, but otherwise all of the assembly is done by me and Rick in our studio.
okay, because I heard you got some big orders lately, and I don't know how. First thing I said was, well, okay, how's that gonna work?
About time to bring on some help.
Yeah.
You might have to try some assistance. You might have to take somebody in.
Yeah, we may have to train up some people to help.
Yeah.
We're gonna be a little busier than we thought, which is, you know, another touch wood.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
So, this is a weird question, but it's on my list. I mean, what do you think? What do women want? What do you think it makes jewelry modern and desirable now?
What's interesting is, like, from sort of my background, I always saw a lot of, like, you know, men buying jewelry for their wives, girlfriends, partners, etc. And it's sort of a different exchange, you know what I mean? And the really beautiful thing about our work that we've noticed is that women are buying jewelry for themselves, which I think is incredibly special, and like it's a very different sort of dynamic than what I've sort of experienced working in retail for so many years. And I love that. And I think people, you know, women especially, I think people right now are, you know, they want things that that feel good, you know, and we put a lot of, like, sort of love and care into what we do, and we hope it resonates, and that people can feel that. And I know that sounds a little, like, cheesy, but I hope they do, you know?
You know, the beautiful and wonderful thing about jewelry is that nobody needs jewelry. It's just pure pleasure. There's and there's no issue like, does it fit? How does it make me look? Am I too old for this? It's like none of that has anything to do with jewelry. It's just pure, it's like ice cream or something. It's just something lovely, wonderful.
Yeah, a little cherry on top.
What was the first piece you made that you thought, wow, this is good? Like, I'm happy with this.
Oh.
I think it's funny because the first piece that we conceived of and brought to fruition was the papal earrings that I'm wearing. And that was—
Lean up to the screen more.
Oh yeah, I wonder, can you see?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yes, better, yes.
Oh, there we go. And it was such a sense of accomplishment to have conceived of an idea, see it realized, but it sort of happened seamlessly. So actually the piece that I'm most proud of is our arch earrings that have the sphere, which you can see on the left in this slide, the smaller earring shape, because that went through so many iterations to problem solve how that mechanism would work and what the finding would look like. And so it's completely different than how it started, and so much better than I could have dreamed of in the beginning. So
yeah, so
that, you know, you have these ideas. I mean, this happens to me whenever I've had anything custom made. Like, I know in my mind what I think it's going to look like, and the guy does exactly what I say, and then I go to pick it up, I'm like, no. Never say, like, what's wrong with it? It's like the weight or the color, or I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's very strange. Art is very strange.
Yeah. So we make sure to take our time, and if something doesn't feel quite right, we put it down.
Yeah, we put it down and then pick it up again, you know, later.
Okay, I'm looking at these questions. Some of them, this always happens to me. Some of them seem so dopey. I just don't. Don't even. I mean, okay, so you guys were both in the city. Malu, I know you grew up in the city. Rick, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Okay. So moving upstate where you are now, did it inform your vision at all? Did it change the way you see things in terms of just, I don't know, the light or nature, you know, all that stuff people like in the country?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I had already been primarily working upstate when we started collaborating. So that was already sort of the basis of my lifestyle or foundation when we created our jewelry line. But Rick had a massive transition and moved upstate, you know, in July of last year. So spurred by the pandemic.
Right.
I mean, but before that, weren't you like a big Brooklyn guy?
Yeah. I mean, I've been living in Brooklyn and the city forever. And I mean, I was telling Malu today, like, I love 47th Street. Like, I love the district.
Yesterday.
Yeah. And I miss it. You know, I miss having to like beg for an engraving or like, can you please make this happen? You know, it sort of changed the way we work because now we have to be a lot more methodical and pre-plan, and there are, there's just there's no begging. It's like so.
No, I love when you ask, can you do this? And they say no. And then it's like, well, can you try? Just try. And then of course,
just try.
Yeah. Just why don't you just try? So, I mean, I guess you're inspired, that's always a funny question of what inspires you. I guess you're inspired by like lots of things, but what have you seen lately that you've been really taken with? Not that you would translate it directly into your work, but is there anything you've seen like painting, movies, anything that you just thought like the look of this is really compelling?
It's so funny because this is the perfect slide for it. Recently, I've been reading the book, The Hidden Life of Trees, which has been a huge inspiration for me, not only in our jewelry, but sort of in other aspects of our life and in terms of the longevity of things and like hidden meanings and the mysteries behind the objects and plants and that you see every day. So that's been sort of an intangible inspiration that definitely affects the ethos of our company and how we go about our day, which a lot of the time, we're lucky enough to be able to go out on a walk. If we're stumped, if we're feeling stuck, we can go take these beautiful walks and sort of clear the air, get re-inspired.
Except for we did a walk earlier today and it was like thousands of mosquitoes. So
if I see little,
it doesn't always look like that slide.
If I see little mosquito earrings showing up in the next section, I'll be like, oh, I get it.
For sure. I mean, yeah, I think too, for me being around, a small Malu's little son, I mean, seeing how children kind of dress themselves or like, there's something really inspiring about like, how kind of like carefree they are. So,
and the over-exaggerated silhouettes of like,
children's clothes.
Clothes.
I mean, like, I'm really into that. I don't know how I would, translate that into jewelry, but like, I want.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I am having a ring engraved with his drawings and little diamond set as the wheels. He's car obsessed, of course. So
I had heard that.
Yes.
That's an okay thing to be obsessed with.
Yeah.
Okay, so fun question I always ask. Okay, big disaster. What was the biggest thing that didn't work since you've been working together?
Oof. I mean, yeah, that's a tricky one. I think, obviously, COVID had massive effects on us. I think prior to COVID, like, we were on track to sort of do a lot of things as everyone was. And I think we began to sort of lose sight of what we wanted our company to look like.
Yeah, we had a very clear vision of, how we wanted to live our lives, the growth of our company, what we didn't want, what we did want. We were never really interested in having hundreds and hundreds of employees. And, we always wanted to keep it sort of tight, manageable, personal. And that was sort of, we were scaling too quickly. And then that was sort of a silver lining of the pandemic is learning, reevaluating.
Right, and the kind of the ultimate reset, which,
Good for everybody.
But
Yeah.
on a smaller scale, we got very excited in the beginning when we first, put in our carving order with our lapidary and carved way too many pieces and all of these shapes.
And colors and,
Yes. And that we hadn't figured out the findings for and all of these things. So now we're still sitting on them, which they're now becoming what they should have become, but it's just taken a long time.
Yeah.
Are you guilt-ridden?
A little bit.
Yeah. But,
Okay.
Oh yeah, we should have waited, but
Yeah.
That's not so bad.
that's not so
Yeah.
bad.
There's some things you don't know until you see it in the stone and the weight, how it hangs. And so
Yeah.
it'll have a new life soon. But
I thought of a great question, but now I forgot what it was. It was really good. Oh, I know what it was. It is really good. Where does the name come from?
oh, that is a good question. En comes from, it means within and together, and it's sort of derived from the Japanese Enso, or not just Japanese, but Zen Buddhist practice of Enso paintings, and that.
I think there's a slide of that. Maybe they can.
Oh yeah, it's sort of an unfinished circle.
Yeah.
So that the act of creation is more important, and it is the gold in whatever you're doing. It's the journey there,
Yeah.
right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where En comes from, is our work together. It means to do things together and to enjoy the process.
Which we do.
Yeah.
Do you fight? It's very difficult, I think, collaborations.
We
Not
actually,
too much?
we don't. We
No,
don't
we
really
disagree
fight.
on
We
things.
disagree a
Yeah.
lot, but we always try to find a really productive way to sort of talk about things. And usually in the end, if we don't see eye to eye about something, there's like, oh wow, thanks so much. Like, like a genuine thank you. Like, I didn't think of it that way. But we really don't fight, which is, it's good.
Are you doing sort of timed collections that come out for like a holiday or spring, or are you just putting out creations as they come to you?
We try to like sort of build on the body of work with little capsules, kind of around jewelry-ish holidays, kind of around the holidays, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, that kind of thing. But yeah, we're not really on a fashion calendar, so that pressure's nice.
Yeah, and because we want to make sure that the work is complete and stands on its own, and that we're not pushing it forward to meet a deadline if it's not exactly what we want it to be, if we don't think it's as good as it could be, or fully realized. So they come out and
It trickles
small,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is there something, if you had unlimited funds, is there a dream piece that you sort of dream about creating? Do you like design things on your laptop that you can never make?
We have piles of sketches.
Piles of sketches.
Yes. But
yeah, we're working on a piece.
that was a dream piece.
It's
for
a dream
while.
piece. It's been a dream piece, but it's definitely like a high jewelry piece. And
Yeah, it's very exciting. I don't want to give too much away because it'll
Is
be
it for a
coming out
client, for a specific client who came to you?
soon. No, it's for a specific event. And more will be revealed.
You'll be the
It's for
first to know
someone
then.
to wear to a specific event?
Mm.
I could guess what that is. I would never. I guess, but I just putting two and two together, but
Yeah.
but anyway,
But
it'll be
besides
fun.
that, there's, we have a dream of creating a whole life around this. So, not just, we have, of course, more dream jewelry and beautiful gemstones, and but also, carving stone side tables, or creating, as we built out our studio, we lime washed everything ourselves, and I think we have some slides of our studio.
Yeah, there's some studio slides.
And as we were looking for furnishings for like handles and faucets, and the things didn't exist that we wanted, so we realized we have to make them ourselves. So I think
So did you make
the big picture, some of them we did make.
Yes.
Oh
this
my
is-
God, the studio. Doesn't it look like a dusty Victorian?
Well, this beautiful case was a gift from Robin of Me and Row when they closed Elizabeth Street. And this is, I stood behind this counter for years and years and years. So it's really special to have it in the studio for me because it just feels like a piece of New York, a piece of home,
Did you like retail?
It's great. I mean, you see weird things, jewelry's so incredibly personal. When breakups happen, like that was always sort of astounding. Like people would, try to return $35,000 of jewelry they've been wearing. So it's like, you see sort of a lot more than you want to when you're working in retail.
I know, it's
But-
like being a hairdresser or something, right? With jewelry, people pouring their hearts out.
Yeah.
This little bag, yeah. Sad.
Yeah. It's, it's a little bit therapy, a little bit of therapy.
I asked because I got fired from a lot of retail jobs, but I have an appreciation of how difficult that is. It's a very hard job.
Yeah, it
But
is.
did
It
you,
is.
do you feel like you learned what people wanted from doing that for so long?
I think it definitely has informed sort of like how I think about, it's like, oh, is it too heavy? Will it show up? What does it look like with different hair colors? That kind of thing. I think is really, it's market research,
Yeah, I mean, the too heavy thing is it's a really funny thing because like you want a ring to be heavy, but you do not want earrings to be heavy.
Right.
Right.
Well, that's
Yeah,
why
it's
we
like-
developed, Rick's wearing some of our ear cuffs because my
Amen.
mom can't wear, substantial jewelry anymore, hanging, dangling from her
Yeah.
lobes, but she wants that statement. So we created carved stone ear cuffs so she could, participate and feel.
Yeah, adored.
Yes.
Wanna be
Oh, and
haunted.
this furniture, now that we popped on this slide, the table and chairs on the left are from our incredibly good friends, Katrina Vonnegut and Brian Kraft of Vonnegut Craft Furniture. They created them and we're honored to have them in our space.
Wow, it's very beautiful. It was very exciting, our studio visit that day.
Oh, yes, it was.
Unexpectedly exciting and fun.
Oh.
Do we have questions from the audience? I think we were gonna have questions. Is that true?
I think so. I don't. Oh, this is our
Oh,
line
wow.
Yes.
Hard
I
at
know
work.
having two jewelers do their own lime washing. It's
It
like
took
the
months.
brushes got tinier and tinier.
Well, it's because you're so fussy about how things look, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But our respective families were like, what are you doing in there? Why is it taking so
We
long?
cut up our own paintbrushes to get the effect that we wanted.
Well, it was very nice.
Nobody noticed.
Yeah, there's a detail of the
But
wall.
you know.
Oh.
Okay, Chominati. Now, who's that? Chominati is
Summer.
our mutual best friend who we all adore beyond words. Wants to know if you have like favorite gemstones to work with.
Ooh.
Ooh. Gosh.
We just worked with Moonstone
Oh,
For the
that was,
first time?
that was wild. Yeah.
for a
No, but
custom
you
piece.
do like a kind of opalescent stone. You don't like do you guys like a sort of faceted, shiny situation? Not really, right?
Only in
No.
a diamond moment,
Yeah.
you know.
Not a diamond, but it's hard not to like a diamond, but I think you like a sort of milky kind of cabochon feeling more.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We a little mysterious,
Yeah.
softer, quiet, illuminated.
Yeah, something that has a sheen to it is
Yeah.
in the stone, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Any more
Highlight
questions
the form.
pop up on the screen? Questions, people, audience? Okay. Well, you're
There's
not
some more slides too.
Oh yeah, should we pop through the other sides?
sure.
Just give the people
Yeah,
a view.
a little view. Oh yeah, this is Bernini inspired, sort of the the pearl drops are carved out of Carrara marble.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, there's detailing that Bernini did in the sculptures where, like, you know, it's marble, but it looks like fabric. So that was sort of a moment we isolated in the folds of that earring.
Yeah, sort of inverting it and creating the
But
folds
you
in
didn't
gold.
carve it, did you?
The carved pearl, we carved the first one and then our lapidary carves the
Okay.
subsequent ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah. But we did all of our first pieces were in carved marble that we were doing ourselves.
God.
then-
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more slides too. if they
Oh,
wanna
yeah, we
sort of-
pop through more
Yeah.
carved marble.
More marble. Yeah, this was a nice moment.
And this is kind of a trademark necklace, the necklace that comes and then has the drop with the longer piece.
Yeah, we do
Have you
that
been
in
doing that for a
all
long
metal. What's that?
Have you been doing this particular style of necklace for a long time? I think of this as a sort of trademark of yours.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah. This was from our original sort of group of designs. And yeah, we've done variations in all metal. Like we have a client that got a beautiful gold one, and this one is gold and marble. And yeah, it's a favorite of ours for sure.
It's marble?
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it heavy?
No, it's very light. It's, I guess,
Really?
you know, it's lighter than rock quartz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the arch earrings that Malu was speaking of earlier, that were, you know, sort of an unexpected struggle, but very, very rewarding in the end. And
Is it
you
a
know,
best?
obviously,
It looks like a bestseller to me.
yeah, it
Yeah.
is. You're right.
Yeah, because it's really, because it's really, really pretty, and it's slightly quirky, but not scary quirky,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really pretty. It's really nice. More slides for us to discuss?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
more.
we can breeze through.
Yeah. Can we go next slide?
Oh, the development of the arch. So you can see sort of where it started. And then, yeah, on the far right, sort of how we were developing that finding, but it wasn't quite right yet.
Yeah,
The proportions are, you know.
it's all about
crucial.
proportion, yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. And then, yeah, there's an iteration where we were trying to cap it. On the far left, the dark stone, that's jade. You know, and we were obviously inspired by, there's, I think, some biblical drawings of arches or of spears.
Yeah.
And,
Mhm.
which, you know, pretty cool.
Yeah. We can go to the next slide.
Yeah, next slide.
Thank you.
And there
Oh,
we are,
A
finished.
close up.
So
The
this is,
close-up.
these are, yeah, so here you can really see the way the spear and the arch kind of work together.
Yeah.
How many different stones do these come in?
I think every stone that we work in, so rose quartz, rock quartz, lapis, labradorite,
Green jade.
green jade, blue chalcedony, a large array.
Yeah.
People collect them?
Yeah, so far,
So far, yeah. I
it's
mean,
been nice to
touch wood.
see. Yeah.
Well,
So
on the
I'm
bottom of
gonna
my,
jump in.
sure, please jump in.
Hi.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna jump in because we are getting quite a number of questions that
Oh,
I'd
great.
like to allow members of the audience to ask you.
Okay.
So I'm going to start off with Laura. Laura was asking about one of the first images that we saw had a very beautiful light blue stone. Laura, if you're still with us, would you like to unmute and ask a question? She was asking what's,
Yeah,
I
It's,
think it's,
blue chalcedony.
right,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, we just started working with that stone last year and it's so beautiful and luminous.
So another question is about your favorite stones.
Do you have a favorite?
I love the jades. I think, I'm really interested in all the colored jade.
Can I just say, whenever I'm talking to you and you have a great big diamond to work with, you just lit up like a diamond. Just saying, just saying.
Yes.
You like
Yeah,
all
I
this other
love
stuff, but you're
diamond
like,
too.
we're working with this big diamond now.
Yeah.
Yes, I do love a big
I know, if we
diamond.
could carve the arches in a big diamond, that'd be really
Oh, yeah.
That would be insane.
Yeah. I would love to do
Yeah.
some, with it more natural diamond, the sort of colored opaque.
Included, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be incredible in some of these, in some of these shapes, because they would still, throw a lot of light, but, wouldn't be easy to tell what the material was necessarily.
Yeah.
You would know.
Yes.
But you would know, the wearer would know.
So someone asking a really interesting question. Do you plan on coming back to the city with your own shop, perhaps?
Oh,
We don't have plans to. Rick was sort of happy to get out of, running a storefront for a while.
Yeah.
Not to say it would never happen, but
yeah, a store in New York, the rents are so kind of cost prohibitive now that you got to make a lot of money to pay your rent. So yeah, I think if we grew to a great volume, perhaps, but it's a lot of pressure.
and it's also, we love having when people make appointments with us upstate. It feels so special, and it's such an intimate experience that maybe we wouldn't necessarily get as much of, but people walking in and out all day in the store.
Yeah.
It's just something we really enjoy right now. So for the moment, we'll keep it.
We'll keep it up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who knows?
So from David is, do you have a muse? I know you spoke about how much you derive from the people for whom you worked as a bench jeweler, but has there been a muse for either one of you?
My mother, she's always my top muse.
Oh.
I love her so much. She is, has such a beautiful aesthetic and ethos, and she's an artist as well. And so, everything I know and love and appreciate is truly from her, really.
Aww. I think for myself, I think I have a lot of amazing friends who I take so much inspiration from, and to the way they dress, the books they're reading, so definitely my nearest and dearest very much inspire everything I do.
Another question, Michelle, is when you dream about a piece, do you draw it or do you work directly with the materials?
That's a good question.
Oh,
We
yeah.
usually start carving. We'll do some sketches and work out the shape, and then let the material. We like to see it three-dimensionally, so we do a lot of wax carving.
Yeah, and then sometimes the carvings just sit around because we haven't quite figured out how it works yet.
We have a lot of material studies, little sculptures sitting around.
Yeah, little sculptures, lots of little wax moments, and just waiting to be made into full pieces.
Yeah.
By the two of you,
Yeah.
working 24 hours a
And
day.
use 4 hands.
And someone is, Barbara is asking about what your favorite pieces are to design. Are they earrings? I know you do rings also. And we see on the screen right now a really exquisite hair ornament. So what
Yeah.
pieces?
Yeah, that's very beautiful.
Thank you.
That silver, describe that to us.
Yeah, it's the silver pin with a rock quartz crest shape on the top. So it's once again, oftentimes we design for ourselves, our friends, my mom. And so this was something to bring light and adornment to your hair also. My mother is a big part of her is Japanese. And so that history of hair ornaments is very deeply ingrained. And, you know, it was an homage to her and that, and, you know, bring some light and flash to your Zoom meeting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially this year.
Sorry, I put my barrette back in. I just, you know, trying to bring some light to the Zoom meeting.
Oh, yes.
It's all about me.
But I don't know if there's a category that I enjoy designing the most. Do you?
I think I love a ring. You know, I think rings are really special. And so, yeah, I love designing rings. And, you know, like the next slide is a piece that we made for a friend. It was a commission piece, but it turned out really beautifully. And I'm very proud of that one.
Yeah, I think.
Where is it?
It's the next slide, I believe.
Oh yeah, can we hop to the next slide?
Yeah,
Thank you.
this one went to a very special friend.
I think-
Is the ring I was playing with at dinner 2 nights ago?
I think
That
it
the very
was
special
that.
friend was wearing? I think I got this on my finger through dinner. It's very beautiful. It's really
Yeah, this-
fantastic. It's really
This was a favorite. This was a favorite piece to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're really, really special.
gorgeous.
So the next question is really totally different, but I absolutely love it. And I think you'll enjoy answering it. What kind of music do you two listen to while you're working in the studio?
Ooh.
That is a good question. It's so funny because I feel like a lot of the time we listen to music when my son Bo is around. And he loves the soundtrack to Xanadu by ELO, the song
Yeah,
sung by Olivia Newton-John.
that's been on a lot.
I'm sure that person is sorry they Okay, well, when Bo is not around, what do you guys do?
Yeah, that's been on a lot. But yeah, I think I listen to a lot more like hip hop and sort of rap and R&B when I'm working alone, you know, not with children in the room.
And I listen to like more Willie Nelson and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Malu loves a podcast too, so she,
Yes.
Really?
Well,
Okay.
it's often very wordy.
Yeah.
So the next question I'm going to ask you is from JP. What piece of advice would you give to a fledgling jeweler who is considering selling, but for the moment just loves designing and fabricating?
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? We needed a little push. We had a tough time making that
jump.
leap. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was my mentor, Gabriella Kish. She was like, you've got to just make it happen. Like no time like the present. You have a full collection and just start reaching out. You know, you won't have any lost opportunities until you take those opportunities. You'll have no opportunities gained unless you know, take the risk and put yourself out there. And so we just, you know, sort of
Jumped.
Yeah. And, you know, reached out. And for us, you know, we felt very strongly about our group of work. We loved making it and we wanted to be able to make more of it and keep designing. So it was a necessary step.
For sure.
And just make some cold calls to
Yeah.
if there's stores or people you admire, there's lots of access to look up emails online. And the more the merrier in this jewelry industry, really.
Yeah, I agree.
So Janet is asking about how your post mechanism works. And to me, one of the most beautiful things in your work is your post mechanism and also the curve on your wire earring. It's just so absolutely graceful and feminine. So can you talk about those two things, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. The clasp mechanism is a tension hook. So the post pops in and out, and it's has a little tension resistance, so it won't fall out. And there's a little flexibility, so you just pop it in. So if you pop it out, the post is still attached to the front jump ring. And then you slide it in and then hook it through. And so it doesn't come out. There's that little stopper soldered onto the other side of the spear shape that keeps it attached to that loop at the front.
And who figured this
Uh-huh.
out?
I did.
Malu. She's like, I think. She's much more patient than I am. So,
He's an ideas man.
I got a lot of ideas,
Yeah.
not always the patience to make them happen, but that's the beauty of a working partnership. Is that like,
And
Yeah.
is this piece in a rose gold?
Yeah. We work in an array of colored golds, all so beautiful that we wanted to highlight. And this one is a very juicy rose quartz with rose gold
yeah.
complement. But we have, I think, at the end, a slide of a necklace of all of our golds together, linked golds together, which shows the full array. We work in green gold and rose gold, Venetian brown gold, yellow.
This
Yeah,
one, right?
20
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
22 karat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, I mean, the alloy process, I mean, we took a brief class in that, and I mean, it was amazing. We made our own alloy.
Yes, we called it fine strong.
Which was fine silver and bronze mixed together.
Mhm.
I still have a sample upstairs.
Yeah.
but-
It was a beautiful, warm sort of silver.
Yeah.
But
And I think, yeah, for our work, we were really interested in exploring all the different colors. And, these are all cast in Midtown. So we, sat with all the samples and sort of figured out, is it the 14 karat, is it the 22 karat, or the, 18 karat?
yeah,
And so
for
we
just
chose
the right
everything.
alloy and looking
Yeah.
at it with our stones, and
Yeah,
that was such a fun
that was a
process.
fun day, yeah.
Well, it's an exquisite necklace. I've never seen anything like it. It's absolutely wonderful.
Thank
Aw,
you.
Thank you.
So what is the whole artist scene up in Catskill, New York?
It's pretty booming. We're also right across the river from Hudson, but in Catskill proper, there's a massive artist gallery warehouse space right on the water, this beautiful brick building called Foreland that's opening up soon with nothing but gallery, studio
spaces
space,
and yeah.
restaurant.
Yeah, it's like the Milk Studios of upstate, sort of.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very beautiful. We're so excited. They've done such an incredible job. So yeah, it's pretty thriving up here. Nice to see.
Well, it's not Brooklyn, but
No.
Yeah, it's not
it has
Brooklyn.
its complications.
So Judy is asking if you ever work in white metal. So tell us about the different colors of gold that you're using, please.
Yeah, we do a 22 karat yellow and 18 karat Venetian brown. We love sort of a paler 14 karat rose gold, a 14 karat green gold.
It's a very vibrant.
Yeah, and then silver, we love, as our sort of white metal. We haven't really explored, because often there's plating involved with working in, platinum or, rhodium or, any of those kind of metals. And plating itself is sort of a practice I think is really kind of bad for the environment. And so we haven't explored that too much. So our only white metal really is silver.
Yeah.
But platinum is beautiful, unplated. So maybe one day.
And Barbara is asking about allowing visitors to your studio.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, we take appointments.
Yes.
So yeah, they anyone can always reach us through our website and book an appointment. We're here. So,
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
yeah.
We love to
We want
have
everything.
Yeah.
Aw. Well, we
Come
want
back
you to
anytime.
come back, Lynn.
Okay, well, we do stop at Woodbury Common on the way up. That's how I get seduced into coming. Maybe I'll come even without Woodbury Common now.
Oh yeah. Oh.
But thank
Well,
you guys so much.
Thank you so much. This has been fantastic, and I want to make the trip up to Catskill.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
please.
come on up.
No, you should go up. It's really adorable. It's fabulous. It's a very cute little town also.
Yeah, yeah.
So before we sign off, I just want to say that there are 19 of your wonderful styles of jewelry available for sale on our Mad About Jewelry website, which is part of the Museum of Arts and Design website. And can shop online as soon as this program is finished. And then I want to say that the week of December 6th at the museum, we will have an in-person edition of Mad About Jewelry. We will have the opening night on Monday, December 6th, and it will continue through Saturday, the 11th. So we're very excited about this. This was fantastic. Lynn, thank you so much for
My
introducing
pleasure.
us to
I
No.
love that jewelry all night.
Oh,
I love
Lydia.
Thank you, guys, and
Oh, thank
congratulations on the
you. What
beautiful
fun.
work.
Thank you
See you
so much.
soon.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.